This video is going to be a little bit toned down because I want to be as respectful as possible to Juice WRLD's fans, Juice WRLD's family, Juice WRLD's friends, everybody involved. So if this topic of the video offends you, please by all means leave, because that is not what I'm trying to do here. I'm actually just trying to find out, because I'm very curious and it means a lot to me, what actually happened to Juice WRLD, as it was a catastrophic event late 2019 when it occurred. And I believe if the fans want to know, and we're not going to find out the true answer, at least for now, because we weren't given straight answers just yet, at least. But I want to discuss some of the possibilities, because Ali used some specific diction that caused me to believe that Juice WRLD's death was a little bit darker than we previously thought, given that she literally stated the police report was wrong. And by the way, if you would like to donate to any of the charitable foundations against drug abuse and drug addiction, all things related, I have a fundraiser linked to this video. And with that being said, let's get into the info. All right, so a couple of days ago, Ali went on a little tweet spree, as she usually does, answering Juice WRLD fans' questions, because she's one of the only people that actually knows what happened the day that he passed away, as well as some more intricate information about him, since, well, she was his fiance before he passed. Now, she stated explicitly, "It's a catch-22. It's so wild to me when fans speak upon Jay's death. You know why you never seen a video or proof / talked about? Because it's not correct. Medically, and firsthand in my arms, police report is trash. Y'all just trust the cops now? I had to sign paperwork over it to save y'all from the true heartache." Now let's go over some of the key aspects of this tweet. In that, firstly, she bargained the question as to why we have never seen proof, because the police report was trash and not correct medically. Basically saying that what we've been fed through the media and whatnot was all a lie, or at least in part. And we'll go over the police report very soon, or at least a summary of it. And secondly, that she had to sign paperwork, basically an NDA, with the police report so that she could not come out later refuting it, because she already signed saying everything that was reported by the police at the scene was correct. And lastly, to save us from the true heartache, which tells me was again darker than we previously thought, with just being an accident of an overdose of oxycodone or pills or whatever. But what does that mean? And this exact part of the tweet is what sparked my curiosity to investigate more. Now, there are plenty of police reports giving all sorts of information, but I just thought I'd give a little bit of a summary, because I'm not trying to sit here and read a whole bunch of articles to you. Basically, what official sources in the police reports have stated, Juice WRLD's plane, private jet, at least one of the pilots reported to the Chicago police that there were weapons and narcotics on the plane. So then when Juice WRLD and his crew landed, there were cops waiting there with a whole gang assault team, as well as a drug sniffing dog at a private hangar in Chicago. And when they started looking through the bags after getting this tip from the pilot in front of Juice WRLD, he allegedly started convulsing and had a seizure. And due to Ali telling the police that he had a drug problem and took Percocet regularly, they administered doses of Narcan, which essentially stops your body from taking in opioids, potentially stopping an overdose with these types of drugs. Afterwards, he woke up and was taken to a hospital. However, he was unresponsive and passed away at 3:14 a.m. The autopsy later on claimed that it was an accidental oxycodone and codeine overdose. But again, as stated previously, Ali says that this police report is trash and incorrect medically. So again, what really happened? Later on in the conversation, a fan states, "I'm scared of the truth." Ali says, "You should be, and I've healed alone because of it. No one there who watched as I tried to save him with no help is fucked up completely if you haven't noticed, and I live and shield you so that you remember good moments of him and happy him and recent him not years ago from people he hated." Giving a plethora of information, just like the previous tweet, and that she said you should be scared of the truth. And more importantly, that she shields us from the truth so that we remember good moments of him and happy him, which opens up about 3 different possibilities of what I think could have happened to Juice WRLD. And again, if you believe you would be offended by this information or discussion, or simply just can't handle it, I completely understand. Please click off the video, because I do not want to offend anybody. But firstly, I think one of the possibilities that is darker than what actually happened is that it wasn't necessarily an accident. Juice WRLD could have been committing suicide. For the police report did state explicitly that it was an accident. And if Ali is saying that the police report is not correct and trash, maybe this aspect of the police report was untrue. And in addition to the fact that she said she wanted us to remember his good moments and him happy, was that maybe Juice WRLD was extremely depressed about his situation. You know, there were a bunch of drugs on his plane, as well as weapons and other contraband, and maybe it stressed him out to the oblivion where he took more than just an accidental overdose, but excessively more than he knew he could handle. Not to mention the fact that depression was a common theme of a lot of Juice WRLD's music, and so I don't think that this would be too unlikely of a possibility of what actually happened in the medical report. Now, the second possibility I came up with was that it was still an accident, but since the report was trash medically, maybe it wasn't necessarily an oxycodone or a codeine overdose, it was something else. Maybe the drugs he got from one of his friends was laced with something such as fentanyl, or he took something else that Ali and the remaining of Juice WRLD's friends there did not want to report because it could have caused more of an issue than what was already occurring. I mean, they did have like 40 pounds of weed or something on the plane, as well as the fact that if it was a substance that was a little bit more uncommon, way more serious, I could see why Ali would want to hide that from the fans to again not create as much of an issue publicly in the media than already happened. And this same concept could apply to the suicide as well. That if Ali was knowledgeable about what Juice WRLD was doing purposely, she again would not want to share that information with the fans as to not cause true heartache. Because of course, then fans may want to follow suit, given that if Juice WRLD couldn't handle the hardships of life, then maybe they couldn't as well, because he was a true inspiration and influence to a lot of people. And lastly, and the darkest of possibilities for this situation, unfortunately, is that it was a homicide of some kind. Bear with me here. And I think this is very unlikely, but who knows? Again, this is all speculation. But if you recall in the first tweet, Ali quite clearly stated, y'all just trust the cops now? Meaning that the cops could be part of the cause for Juice WRLD's passing. In that with the police report filed, there were 2 to 3 guns on board of the private jet, all illegally carried because apparently you're not allowed to carry firearms in airports, even if they are registered, I think. And so 2 of the security guards that Juice WRLD had on board actually were charged with misdemeanors. And so potentially, again, speculation, if during the search, one of the security guards had a weapon on them, maybe the police got freaked out and fired at the suspects, one of the bullets hitting Juice WRLD. This again would fulfill the theory that Ali stated, that the police report was incorrect medically, meaning that it wasn't an overdose, maybe it was something else, a homicide. Not to mention the fact that there was no surveillance footage at the crime scene, even though we all know that every airport has security footage on like every corner and every hallway. I mean, the security system in airports is probably the strictest clearance that you have to go through in your daily lives. So of course they would have surveillance footage of every inch of the airport. And so why hasn't this footage been released? And why did Ali have to sign an NDA in the police report to state everything in the report was true without any other evidence coming public? Because maybe something happened that was completely unexpected and that they didn't want coming out, at least to the fans, to save them from true heartache. But that's enough of my thoughts on the situation. Y'all let me know in the comments. Again, be as respectful as possible. This is a pretty touchy subject. With the new information from Ali, I really just wanted to talk to someone about it, see if my thinking was logically correct at all. And that's it. So I'll see y'all later. Peace out, people. Know what I'm saying?